The convergence of Connor, Arno and Shay's paths has been a hot topic among the Assassin's Creed fans for more than a decade. Always that one unresolved question: why didn't they meet? I'm one of those players who couldn't help but notice the missed potential of these characters. Connor's story ends in AC3, he beats all his enemies, but what if there was one enemy he thought was long gone and not a threat? What if many years later, that enemy has resurfaced? This has been something I always wanted to see. And so, I decided to take this path of uncertainty and write what I think would have happened on the fateful day where their paths would directly collide. That day is May 4th, 1798. This is the day Napoleon Bonaparte historically left Paris and went to Toulon, from where he sailed to Egypt, leaving on May 19th, 1798. I decided to make this film happen in one day, sparing myself the trouble of establishing what many fans already might know and getting straight into the meat of the story. The story I wrote places Paris in a curfew due to mysterious disappearances and murders, which is a faithful nod to our prelude, the Retribution. For nearly a year, Arno and Connor have been working together, and it all comes to this day, May 4th. 10 months ago, I opened Unreal Engine 5 for the first time ever. Why Unreal when there's Blender, Cinema 4D or any other software? Well, because Unreal is used in professional film and television production. It is incredibly powerful. I genuinely fell in love with the workflow and bringing my visions and stories to life. I have access to motion capture, high quality lip sync, insane environments which I also learned to build. It taught me how to make films, which I believe will show clearly with this one. In 1782, Connor's quest effectively ended once he dealt with Charles Lee and buried the precursor amulet. In AC Rogue, we learned that 6 years prior to that, Shay Cormac was in Versailles. But what happened after? Arno Dorian's story ended in 1794, and we saw him recover Germain's bones with Napoleon in 1808. I knew right away that setting this film before Napoleon became emperor would make for the best possible story I could make within my means and resources, and also embrace that perfect essence of Assassin's Creed by unmasking the supposed truth history never got to know. In this instance, Connor and Arno are instrumental to Napoleon's mission, and that is textbook Assassin's Creed as far as creative historical liberty goes. We know that Connor trained Eseosa and Shay trained his grandson Cudgel in the 1800s, but we never got to know what happened in between all these stories. I took it upon myself to find out and share with all these fans of the franchise how I would have wanted this to go. There's also a surprise character because of who I had to play around with the lore a bit, but after thorough research I found that his existence is entirely plausible and perfect for my film. No spoilers though. Shay himself is quite interesting because we mostly see him when he's young, and that brief sequence when he's in his 40s at the end of AC Rogue. In this film, he is 67 years old and he has returned to France for a reason I will not disclose today. He is now the Grand Master of the Templar Order in France. Connor is 42 and Arno is nearly 30. I cannot begin to tell you guys how happy I am to be making this story. I have been trying for months to write it in a manner that will be deeply entertaining and appreciated by you, as well as possible for me to create. Doing motion capture for all the characters has been quite challenging, but so worth it. They look and feel alive. I also bought a few plugins which streamlined the animation process a bit so I can focus entirely on blocking, cinematography and lighting. A few very well-known creators from the community will voice some of the characters, so I'm excited to share more with you all later down the line. Making this film came with a lot of challenges, but once I started I knew there was no going back. I have to see this through because it will be a great film. I never did anything of the sort, so of course beginning without a clear outline tends to induce some uncertainty, but then I eased into it, made a mood board, and I wrote the screenplay. I love the feeling of dark themes, conflicts and stories. I always knew that is perfect for Assassin's Creed. Exploring uncomfortable themes and topics, sensitive situations, thought-provoking character arcs. This is what Assassin's Creed has been missing for a long time, and that is something I wanted to explore in this film. Broken men fighting for something bigger than themselves. Sound familiar? With the upcoming AC Black Flag Resynced, we will be able to revisit a masterfully told story of Edward Kenway, which struck a chord with millions of people who experienced the story. We did not play the game and just forget about it. I felt it. I felt something. It is an emotional story, which is why it stuck with us. That is what I hope I am able to convey with this film, even though it will be short. That is why I want to make films, to make an impact on people, to make them remember the story for how it made them feel. That is cinema, that is storytelling. Now the film is set to release this year, late September to early October. It is still too early to say, but I'm confident in this release window. I am delighted to be able to say that my good friend Mr. Alpha 444 sponsored this film by getting a high quality Paris buildings pack from Kitbash 3D. These packs are generally used in actual movies as background assets and scene building. Beyond that, they're very high quality. And man, from the bottom of my heart, I thank Mr. Alpha for believing in this film. It means so much to me, and all of your comments too. They just make this film more possible. Thank you all for believing in me, and not just this project. I'm glad that many of you are interested in this. To clear everything up, I want to clarify, this is a fan film. I spend a lot of my own money on motion capture, assets and environments, but I'm still using some outfits and props from the games to speed up the workflow, and this is an existing IP which we all love. I'm not gonna claim any ownership or attempt to monetize it. This is a film for the fans. I have immense respect and thanks for Ubisoft because they made these great stories, which is the reason I'm able to make this continuation, which is not canon to the official story, but of course I wouldn't mind if it was. This is simply a story I feel I have to tell, and I'm counting on your guys' support and endorsement, and I hope you will enjoy it. All these months of learning filmmaking through Unreal Engine have been the most fun and transformative months of my life. I found something I truly enjoy and look forward to every day. Some people might think I'm mad. How can going through all these tedious troubleshooting processes and technical problems actually be fun? It doesn't feel like work. It is an unexpected, unexplainable passion that I rediscovered at a major turning point in my life, and I'm eternally grateful to God for the opportunity I was given. I've learned this engine enough to tell this specific story, and it has paved the way for more films I want to make after this one. Projects that will be completely original and not tied to any existing IP. But before any of that, and before this film comes out, we will play and enjoy Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, which I will cover of course. Stay tuned for news about Connor, Arno and Shay. See you all in the next video. Thank you.